we've been talking about a lot here on the show in the last few days, in the last week or so. Are you a little concerned about the whole Hoosier Tire deal? Because, man, they can't get the nylon, the petroleum, all this thing going on. We're hearing about Williams Grove might not have enough tires to race up there. We're hearing about Hoosier not having enough tires. Are you concerned about the season and the tire situation?
Yeah, I'm real concerned.
Yeah.
It's I'm real concerned. It's concerning for me from, I've got some buddies that own racetracks. That's to me, it's the one thing we got to have, and the last thing in racing I'd want to own is a racetrack, and they just don't need any. They don't need any difficult. They don't need it to be any harder. You know,
because they don't make enough money as it is anyway. To be honest with you,
I feel like that the actual tracks are on the short end of the stick. Vic Hill put that deal on with Flo and all that there last week, and I just know what kind of effort he put into that, and it's tough for the promoter or the track owner. He assumes a lot of the risk, and it could go a lot of ways for the guy that owns the racetrack. And if we don't have any tires this week, I can just put my race car on jack stands and it don't eat anything.
Right.
And those racetracks aren't that way, so it concerns me for sure. Number one, for the tracks, and then just from there the spread out of beyond that. But it's a major concern for all of us.
Yeah, we're visiting with Mike Marlar. He picked up that $20,000 to win at Bulls Gap. Do you think we're going to get to a point during the season where they're going to have to cancel some races because we're going to be short on tires? Do you think we'll get to that?
That's what I'm hearing. I sure hope not.
Yeah.
One thing, with the fuel prices being up now, and it may slow some of the racing down, because we have been, they had the pandemic and the shortages, and then on top of that, now we race more than we've ever raced. So it's just
right.
It's just something that's kind of caught up with Hoosier. They're going as fast as they can. They just can't keep up, and the only way this is going to work out is maybe that there's just less people racing, and it's just I don't know. I don't know enough to have a real strong opinion on it, but I know that it's a major concern.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope for sure, and we hate it for the promoters because they make their hay at the start of the season and at the end of the season, because the heat of the summer, a lot of people don't like to go to the racetracks, right? Because it's too hot. And so they got to make their money at the beginning, at the end of the season, and that's what I'm concerned about. The promoters making their money right now and at the end of the season, and I'm just afraid that a lot of them are not going to make it through the summer.
Yeah, and I don't know that, maybe say I was thinking about IMCA, like your IMCA hobby stocks.
Yep.
Like say the IMCA hobby stocks run just like a radial tire, right?
Yep.
And then IMCA modifieds run a
McQuarrie. Yeah.
A McQuarrie tire, which I don't think there's a shortage on those.
There is.
I don't know.
There is there is a shortage on that. We just got a bulletin that McQuarrie is going to have an issue with their tires as well. And if you think about that in the grand scheme of things, with A mods, B mods, E mods, there's more modifieds in this country than anything else, right? If they run out of tires, it's going to be a really big deal.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they figure out a way to put them. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they got to put them radials that they run on the hobby stocks on the E mods. I don't know what they got to do, but
yeah.
The one thing we always say to the tire companies is we really don't care what kind of tire you have, as long as everybody's on the same one. In some instances, the worse it is, the better it is.
Right.
And as far as the racing goes, low grip, stuff that's low grip and slides around and has a long wear pattern, is not bad. So I don't know what they do, but it's definitely, like I said, it's a concern. I don't know. We just try to stay in front of it, and not only tires. I mean, we're sitting there with one race car right now, and they're backed up on race cars.
Oh boy.
And then it was motors, and we finally kind of got over the hump on motors, and I feel like we're kind of in a safe zone on motors. But it's kind of everything across the board, and it's bad timing for all that because, our sport's in such a great place. There's so many people watching, so many viewers. I was over the NASCAR race at Bristol, and you wouldn't believe how many people come up to me and congratulated me and told me they had watched the race or they were over there, at Bulls Gap watching or either watched on Flow. So we've got more viewership and more attention on our sport right now than we've ever had, I think, in history. And now we're talking about, we might not be able to provide you content because we can't get a tire or a motor or something. So it's a weird place to be in for sure.
Bad time.